Hi everybody, welcome back. Matt from Camp House Auto Care. Been working on that series of car care videos because April is car care month. Here we are back underneath Lucille again, my wife's beautiful truck, to talk about something else that gets neglected. This is a transfer case. This truck happens to be a four-wheel drive. What this transfer case's job is to split the power between the front and the back. You have power that's made by the engine that goes through the transmission that then goes to the transfer case and it gets split so it can drive the rear axle and it can drive the front axle and you have four-wheel drive. For the longest time, four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive was something that was only available in trucks. Well, now all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive are available in a whole lot of things. You will see it in Audis, you'll see it in Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and this Chevy pickup truck. You see it all over. Now, this particular transfer case can be shifted. This can be four high, this can be four low, and it can be all-wheel drive. Most people don't even know that they have this item in those vehicles. Even in those higher-end vehicles, this transfer case has a fluid that needs to be serviced. Because again, like we talked about, if you check back to our video on the rear differential, there's no cooler for this. There's no filter for this. There's no anything. So all of the cooling, all of the keeping clean, all of the everything is all done by the fluid. If this fluid is not maintained, you're going to destroy this transfer case. You'll ruin it. Then you won't have four-wheel drive anymore. You won't have all-wheel drive anymore. You probably won't go anywhere. And it's probably going to make a big bunch of mess and a big bunch of noise. And it's going to be extraordinarily expensive. If you guys want, I'd be happy to put transfer cases in everybody's trucks all day long. However, coming to see me for this service here will keep that expense down. Again, this one starts out about $99 and goes up from there depending on the type of vehicle it is, depending on the fluids that it needs. But this particular one uses Dexron 6 transmission fluid, which is what's for the transmission here and also in this Chevrolet. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you this service. This one, unlike a differential, this has a drain plug here on the bottom and a fill plug over here. So what we'll do first is we will pull the fill plug to give us a little bit of a vent to make it a little bit easier when I go ahead to drain the fluid out. I do have a drain pan below me, so we're not just going to be draining it onto the floor. I keep it there for just in case. So we'll pull the fill plug out. I don't expect to see anything come out of there because again, this truck's got about 50,000 miles on it, so most of this is all factory fluids and stuff that hasn't been changed at all. And then out it comes. The fluid itself doesn't look too bad. It's a little on the dark side of ATF, but it's not anything that I would consider extremely scary. If this had been here for 100,000 miles or 150,000 miles, it probably would have come out black with chunks in it, which would have been, super depressing. Now, the one thing I will tell you, like we did in the differential, Jessica, if you can get in here, here's that drain plug, and it looks like, I don't know, Spider-Man Man on the Moon. Those are all metal shards. Metal shards are not something to be afraid of, especially when they're small like this. These gears in here are going to wear. This is just a byproduct of what this piece of equipment does in the car. That's the reason that this fill plug has that magnet, is to trap that metal, to trap those things, to make sure it doesn't do any damage inside the transfer case. So all we'll do on that one
this area
is we will take. That's my shop foreman being funny, in case anybody heard that.
I wasn't near it.
He thinks he was entertaining, but that's okay. I love him anyway. So what we'll do is we'll take a rag and we're going to wipe that off, and now we're going to get back to just the bare magnet on there. So see the difference in that? Again, that metal is not a scary thing. That metal's part of life. Anything that's going to be a sealed unit with gears that are meshing, you're going to have pieces of metal in, especially a transfer case based on what it does. And the fact that this vehicle has the option to be an all-wheel drive, meaning it'll be all-wheel drive all the time, whereas with like your four-wheel drive options, generally you don't use those unless you're off-road or in the snow, or there's a surface that will allow slippage between the front and the rear end. With this transfer case, you don't have to have that. You can flip it in all-wheel drive and away it'll go on dry pavement or playing race car or whatever you want to do at that point. I recommend though, if it's your wife's truck that you want me to work on, don't tell them you're playing race car, because every time my wife finds out I'm playing race car, I end up in trouble. So not too much left going on in there, just a couple of little drippy drips. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, we'll tighten that one back up. Okay. Now, the other one we didn't put back in, that's going to be our fill plug. Instead of doing it like we would do in the differential where you're squeezing it and making a bunch of noise and making a big mess for yourself, I actually have a pressurized fluid pot that's full of the correct fluid for this. That's going to let us cheat and do this much more quickly. However, in the beginning of this video, I forgot to put pressure in the pot, so bear with me in a second and I'll pump it up. This one takes about 1.5 quarts, probably almost 2 quarts. So we're going to go ahead and we'll put fluid into the fill hole, and then just like the differential, we'll fill this up till it goes ahead and runs out of the fill hole, and then we'll know that it's full. All right, so just like before, we're running out right there in the fill hole. And that's how we know that that transfer case is full. Go ahead, put our fill plug back in. I'll tighten that up in a second. And make sure that it's all going to be secured so that won't be an issue. And then again, this is going to be good to go for another 25, 30,000 miles. I know I keep sounding like a broken record when I do this stuff, but it is the maintenance tasks that are going to make your vehicle last. It is the small maintenance tasks, having us do these things for you, that take a 100,000 mile vehicle and turn it into a 300,000 mile vehicle all day long. It's what we do here. We're here for you. It's car repair from people who care. Thanks for joining us here at Camp House. I'm Matt. We'll see you guys in the next time. Thanks. Bye.